really close the gap and step into that no man's land, if you like, that disputed territory. They wanted to keep it on the outside and see if they could somehow reach without really taking their feet close enough, and that just doesn't work. He's just inching in there, Eifert, but again, jab, then looks for the long right hand to the body, hooks off the jab there, that just glanced off the forehead of Sperandio. The home crowd trying to get behind Eifert a little bit here. As I said, he's a Magdeburg man. He shapes to throw that left hand every now and again, Sperandio, and what would be, if he did throw it, a kind of screw punch. He's moving that front foot in, the Italian, and he is getting close enough. He looks like he's close enough because he's the taller of the two, but he just doesn't pull the trigger, or at least he hasn't yet. That time, committed a little bit more that time, but again was slightly tentative with the jab. Then looked for the hook, but it didn't reach. A lot of nervous energy in that ring, it looks like to me. Jab there from Sperandio, just about got there. But the second round has been very similar to the first so far as we head into the final minute of it. A good clean blow from either one of these two would be enough to win this round. The first round was similar. One real clean shot, because no one is landing anything clean. Right to the body there from Eifert. You might want to look for that a little bit more. He jabs high, doubles up on it, and just drops his height, dips those knees and goes with the right to the body, because any clean punching, left hand to the body there from Sperandio, maybe he was a little bit low, he seemed to half apologise. Any clean punching would be enough to win rounds at the moment, because there is so little. Jab there from Sperandio. And the first one might just have reached. And again, the crowd's looking to try and get behind Eifert here. Jab to the body from Sperandio. But I think whoever just settles a little bit quicker here and just relaxes a little bit more will probably end up being well placed. Just throws a couple of jabs to the body there, Sperandio. He's looking slightly more aggressive at the start of round 3. And again, just close the distance there, look for the right hand. So these two already much more within punching range at the start of the third. Jabs up top and then goes down to the body there, Eifert. The jab to the body landed. Got a little bit more variety than Sperandio. Looks to quicken up those feet, and then more often than not goes with that lead hand to the body as he did there. And he needs to get close in to land that. It doesn't really extend with that lead hand when he throws the jab, even though he is the taller man. Jab to the body again there from Eifert. Took the feet back out nicely there as Sperandio did commit to the jab that time. And it's more of the same really in round number 3. The start to the round was more proactive from Sperandio. Right hand there from Eifert was a good shot as Sperandio came forward. Cleanest punch of the fight so far. And when he comes in, Sperandio, he does tend to list to his left a little bit. makes that right hand a decent shot for Eifert. Nothing doing there, just a little bit of a trip and a tumble. Right hand there from Sperandio on the inside. I don't think that was 100% clean, but the corner away to my right were certainly pleased with it. Sperandio just trying to work with the uppercut as he pushed Eifert up towards the ropes. He tucked up and covered himself pretty well there, the German fighter. Again, just looking for that right hand over the top. Things warming up a bit towards the end of the third, which is good. We needed this one to click out of first gear at some point. Looking for the jab there, Sperandio, but again, Eifert comes back with his own. Left hand landed there for Sperandio, so both of them had... So into the fourth. There's not been much in these opening three. I've shaded Eifert in all of them so far, just looking down at my card, my very unofficial card. Trying to flip that lead hand away there, Sperandio. That's a good example of what I was talking about earlier on. He was within range there. If he uses that greater reach, then on that kind of borderline, he is potentially within range and Eifert isn't. But that's not the way he fights. It's quite frustrating to watch. Whereas Eifert's the shorter man, he's able to keep it on the outside. Good left-hand counter there from Eifert. Again, he looks to just move in quick there and throw that left hand to the body. And he got caught by left-hand Sperandio as he came in. Stoops in with a jab to the body there, Sperandio. Turns southpaw very, very briefly. Long right hand to the body from Eifert. That's a scoring punch. A couple of jabs there from Sperandio, but he takes those feet back well, Eifert. I think he's going to have to look for two phases of attack here, I think, Sperandio. For the main part, he's taking the centre of the ring and Eifert is revolving around him. And when he tries to put it on him, as I say, he pulls those feet back out well, nicely. Just did it exactly there. Sperandio's got to try and cut off the ring a little bit better if he's going to be able to exert any kind of concerted pressure, really. Left to the body there from Sperandio. That's a decent shot. And that's a nice jab, just flicked up from the waist. There are glimmers here at times. To go down to the body with that right hand again there, Eifert. Kind of stutters in with that front foot there, Sperandio. That's usually the cue for him to really move in. Final few seconds of round four, and again, not been a lot to choose. Left hand high on the head there from Eifert, right towards the belt. So into the fifth. I've got Sperandio slipping behind here, but a lot of these rounds are very, very tight, so the judges at ringside could be seeing it differently. Good jab to the body there from Sperandio. And he, generally speaking, has been the one on the front foot more of the two. Eifert's been happy to work that clock face. Sperandio trying to let that right hand go. He finds it difficult to to track Eifert down. Basically, the movement of Eifert is proving a problem for him because, as I say, he's rotating around him. Doubled up on the jab there, the Italian. The second one got through. Throws that right hand on the inside, and referee has a quick word about it. But that's the kind of thing he's going to need to try, because when they're up close like that, I don't think he'd said break. He just gave him one in the side of the head. Nice left hand caught Eifert on the way in there from Sperandio. And again, just looks to try and club away up close, and that's more like it from Sperandio. He can't stand off and have this kind of a fight. He just can't do it because Eifert is going to get the better of him. And he can't let this fight just slip by in this kind of mode. Heads almost coming together on the inside there. I think they did come together. He's just dabbing at the... They're both dabbing at their eyes. There's a cut on the bridge of the nose there for Sperandio, which doesn't look too bad, actually. At least the blood will run clear of the eye, so that's not going to be a problem. But he's dabbing at it nonetheless. Referee just having a word with Sperandio about holding. And is there a cut just above the left eye there of Eifert? There's obviously blood there. I was just wondering whether that's transfer from the nose or whether that's actually a cut. Trying to get a good look at it. I think it is a cut just above the eyebrow, and that's not actually in a great spot because the blood from that one may well run into the eye. Yeah, that is definitely a cut. It's not looking great, actually. We need to get in the corner in between rounds and see if we can get a good look at it. There's not all that much blood coming from it, although there is a touch of width to it, and as I say, that is not in a good place. It was an accidental clash of heads, and we're beyond the completion of 4 rounds, so if the fight were to stop due to either one of those, this one's scheduled for 10, the vacant IBF Intercontinental Light Heavyweight title on the line here. Michael Eifert of Magdeburg, the home man, he's in the black. Adriano Sperandio of Italy in the dark blue with a white stripe down the side. And as I've been saying all the way through, there's not been an enormous amount in any of these 5 rounds that we've seen. I've gone to the home corner with all of them. Just a little feint with the front foot there from Eifert. Clash of heads in that previous round, but I think both corners have done a pretty good job. A bit of blood leaking from the bridge of the nose there of Sperandio. That's in a difficult place to protect, really, because almost anything that gets through is going to disturb that cut. Just snaked a jab through there, Sperandio. I just think he's got to try and cut loose at some point. Judges could be seeing it differently to me. As I say, there's been lots of very close rounds, but Eifert with a double jab like that, he's just looked more in control of the two. He's been the more proactive, even though he's the one at times giving ground, but he's giving the ground, that's the thing. He's not being pushed back ever. He's choosing to use that movement just to keep Sperandio turning and moving. The Italian's got a slightly ploddy look to him. But there were a couple of times in that previous round where he got on the inside and he just started letting his hands go, Sperandio, whichever way he could. I just thought that was probably more the way forward for him. Left hand there from Eifert. Looking for a big overhand right there, Eifert. Didn't land it. Decent left there from Eifert. Just ponderous with the jab there, Sperandio, and Eifert just timed it. Came back with his own and got there first. And looked for a big right hand there, Eifert, as he just barreled Sperandio back into the red corner. Referee just having a chat with Sperandio about holding and punching there. Closing stages of round 6. Again, just stoops and throws the left hand to the body there, Sperandio. But it's working. And on nights like this where there's a ranking belt on offer, how much of it is about entertaining the crowd and how much of it is about making sure that you just get the win? It is the entertainment business, boxing. Show business with blood, as it was memorably described by one of the USA's finest a good while ago. Right hand there from Sperandio. That definitely found the target, and now just looking to try and flip that jab again. Every now and again he looks like he's got some intent. But unfortunately at times it's just dissipated too quickly. Both just falling short with those lead hands. Double jab from Eifert. The second one might just have landed. Again, just moving around Sperandio. He leads off with that left hook. It's interesting when he comes in and throws that left hand, whether it's to the body or whether it's up top. That was a more orthodox looking jab from Sperandio. But generally speaking, as he comes forward, you could gamble if you're Eifert that he's going to need to get close because he's going to look for the body. And whenever he does let it go, just come straight over the top of it with the right hand. A little feint there from Eifert. Tries to double up that jab himself. Final 30 seconds of round 7. The Italian corner just madly cheering everything that their fighter does. Other than that, it's pretty subdued in here. He was in a big breath there because he left the swab on a bit too long and didn't really leave himself time to get that Vaseline over the bridge of the nose. So into round 8, Michael Eifert in the black, Adriano Sperandio in the dark blue with the white stripe. Both of these two with a single defeat on their record heading into this one. Eifert managed to avenge his. Came in a domestic fight against Tom Zemski, who's on the bill tonight as well. Sperandio was away from home against Marko Nikolic in Belgrade. Sperandio, the reigning Italian champion. Eifert in the past has been German champion. And the fight has really been set in the same pattern right from the beginning until now. Every now and again it's vaguely threatened to really catch fire, but it just hasn't happened. From where I'm sitting, Sperandio needs to really put his foot down, just let his hands go here.
Stop. Stop.
But I don't think it's going to happen. Looking for the right hand there, Eifert. Just pulled off it slightly. Left hand from Sperandio. Looking for an uppercut on the inside, and it's exactly there that he needs to get to work, but he pushed Eifert off and then just took his feet out, just took a couple of steps back off. You've got to get on him in that situation because he was getting a bit untidy on the inside, and that's really what is going to suit him more because Eifert can keep this on the outside. That was a nice long right hand. There was nothing particularly strong about it. Looked good from the back of the room, I think. But when things become a little bit disorganised and a bit dishevelled, that's when Sperandio has just got to get amongst it. But he had that opportunity, as I said, about 30 seconds ago, and he just chose to re-establish the gap. Right hand, this is where he needs to get to work, Sperandio. Here now. He's trapping the arm there, Eifert. The referee will have noticed that. He's got to shrug him off in there, Sperandio, turn him into the ropes and just batter him. But it's almost like Sperandio, he doesn't want to do that unless he's forced to, almost. It's like they need to light a fire underneath him in the corner and just try and get him to lose his temper. I know that's not ever what you're supposed to do in the squared circle. You've got to remain calm at all times, but he's just been too passive in this fight. Eifert threw what he threw the volume of what he threw, did enough to take them. Although very little clean was landed. So 2 to go, 6 minutes to go here. Just looking to chop down with that right hand there, Eifert. He was short with it.
Box.
Tempo steigern, komm. Mit Köpfchen Tempo steigern, komm mal.
Just inching forward there, Eifert. Again, just throws that fake, looks for the jab. It was short, he knew it would be. But Sperandio again just struggling to work his way in. That's a nice solid jab there from Eifert. The left hand there, Eifert, and then moved off to his left. That was the kind of situation where Sperandio was looking to try and get some work done on the inside. Good jab there from the Italian. Eifert just taking those feet all the way in there as Sperandio backpedaling out of range.
If I say no holding, no holding. If I say no holding, no holding. Okay.
Well, he's having a chat with both of them about holding there. Referees tonight have been quite quick to take points. It's the final minute of round 9. Up to the ropes there, Sperandio, right above me. Managed to come off them easily enough, just pushing off with the heel of his glove a little bit there. Eifert doesn't need to be doing anything to give the referee a reason to deduct a point here. Final few seconds of round 9, and it is quite remarkable how similar many of these rounds have been. A flurry of activity right towards the end of round 9. Sperandio got a right hand through on the inside there and around. Touch of gloves between these two. 3 minutes to go. And for me, Sperandio needs something absolutely huge here. Right hand there from Eifert. shuffles his way in there, Sperandio, kind of unusual use of the feet, and looks to throw the left as he got up close. Again, just those little stutter steps taken forward, and Eifert just manages to roll underneath the right hand, clips him with a nice left, up tight and close there, and then just walks him back to the ropes. As I look towards his corner, Sperandio, we've been liberal with the advice all the way through, cheering everything that their fighter has thrown. It's often important to do that. The corners feel it's important to do that away from home. There's a judge sitting touching distance away from me. They'll be hoping that their reactions will have been able to influence him. I'm sure they won't have. Heading up towards the final minute. And really the story of this fight has been that neither fighter is just quite committed enough with their feet. Eifert is the more polished of these two. He shoots out that double jab and then chops down with that right hand, but just misses with it. But Eifert as well, if he just got a little bit closer, a lot of these punches which have hit gloves or not really made it would have made it. Okay, he might have put himself in a little bit more jeopardy, and he's winning the fight doing what he's doing, so I could see why he would say, why would he need to do that? But they both just operated slightly out of range, and those sights have never really been calibrated throughout the course of this 10 rounds that we've seen. Well, just warning about trapping the arm there, about holding. Final few seconds, and Sperandio stands off in the centre of the ring. It'll be interesting to see the reactions of the two when the final bell goes, which will happen any second now. And there it goes, and Eifert ends on the canvas there at the end. There's a little bit of a shove and ended up on his back. And
Boxer, wir kommen zum Ergebnis. Here are the results. Benny de Groß wertet diesen Kampf 96 zu 95 Punkten. Benny de Groß scores this fight 96 to 95 points. Bayeskalan Sandak wertet diesen Kampf 98 zu 92. Bayeskalan Sandak scores this fight 98 to 92 points. Und Caroline Pütz wertet diesen Kampf 96 zu 95 Punkten. Caroline Pütz scores this fight 96 to 95 points. Und damit neuer IBF Intercontinental Champion aus dem Team Deutschland, Michael Eifert!
Michael Eifert gets it, 96 to 95 on two of the judges' scorecards, 98-92 on the other. I'd have been more in line with the 98-92, but I do understand the 96-95s because there were lots of very close rounds in there. I just felt that in those rounds, Eifert, much more often than not, did enough to win them. Very little happened in that fight, to be brutally honest. There wasn't a great deal of action, not very much clean punching, and Sperandio, I just never really felt went after it in the way that he could have done. You're boxing away from home, and although it's an imperfect situation and not an ideal thing to say, you're probably going to need to do that a little bit more than the home fighter to make sure that you get it if it goes to the cards, and I just don't think he ever really did that at any point. But I do understand how two of those judges had it a close fight, because depending on what side of the ring you were sitting on, you may have seen something land clean that I didn't see. You may have missed something that I did. It was one of those kinds of outings, really. The 8-2 was more in line with how I had it. Well, thanks very much for joining us tonight in Magdeburg. We've seen that main event. We've also seen the Fresh Prince of Monaco and Hugo Mikalev, the top-ranked signing, entertaining fight that he was in. Albon Pervisage as well at heavyweight got a decent win, and then a fairly quick win as well for Paul Vaal. I'm Andy Clark. We will catch you again next time.